In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled amidst rolling hills and lush greenery, lived a young boy named Atif. Atif was known for his kind heart, gentle nature, and an unwavering love for Allah. From a very young age, he had been taught by his parents about the beauty of Islam and the importance of following the path that leads one closer to Allah. In the village, there was a famous market that would set up every week. Traders from far and wide would come to sell their wares, and people would flock to the market to buy goods and socialize. Atif was always excited about the market because he loved the vibrant atmosphere and the chance to meet new people. However, he noticed that as the market grew in popularity, people seemed to get increasingly distracted from their spiritual path. The allure of material possessions and worldly desires clouded their hearts, causing them to drift away from the remembrance of Allah. One day, an elderly man named Shaikh Ahmed visited the village. He was a wise and learned scholar who had traveled to many lands seeking knowledge and guidance. As word spread about his arrival, people eagerly gathered to hear him speak. Atif, too, was excited to listen to the scholar, hoping to find answers to his own struggles and staying close to Allah amidst the temptations of the market. When Shaikh Ahmed began to speak, his words had a profound impact on the villagers. He reminded them that life's true purpose lay in drawing closer to Allah through acts of kindness, compassion, and devotion. He emphasized that material possessions could provide temporary happiness, but true contentment and inner peace could only be found in the remembrance of Allah. Atif was deeply moved by Shaikh Ahmed's words. He approached the scholar after the speech and sought his counsel. "Respected Shaikh Ahmed," he said, "I find it challenging to stay on the path that leads me closer to Allah when everyone around me seems to be chasing after worldly desires. How can I remain steadfast?" The wise man smiled warmly at Atif and replied, "Dear child, the path that brings you closer to Allah is not always an easy one, but it is the most rewarding. Remember that life is a test, and the market is just one of many distractions you will encounter. Focus on your prayers, charity, and being kind to others. Surround yourself with like-minded people who will support your journey towards spiritual growth." Atif took Shaikh Ahmed's advice to heart. He started spending more time at the mosque, seeking solace in prayer and recitation of the Quran. He volunteered to help the less fortunate in the village, realizing the joy that came from selfless acts of charity. Atif even initiated a study circle where young villagers could learn more about Islam together. As time passed, Atif's dedication to the path that brings one closer to Allah became an inspiration to others. His genuine kindness, humility, and devotion attracted many people who had lost their way. Slowly but steadily, the village began to transform. The market no longer held the same charm for the villagers as they found more profound fulfillment in their faith and community. One day, a young trader who had come from a distant land visited the transformed village. Expecting to see the same materialistic frenzy he was accustomed to, he was surprised to find a sense of peace and contentment among the villagers. When he asked Atif the secret to this remarkable change, Atif smiled and replied, "We have learned that the only path that brings us closer to Allah is the path of love, compassion, and selflessness. When we let go of worldly distractions, our hearts find their true purpose in the remembrance of Allah." The young trader was deeply moved by Atif's words and the serenity he observed in the village. He decided to stay and learn more about Islam. With time, he too found solace in the teachings of Islam and embraced the path that leads one closer to Allah. The moral of the story is that in a world filled with distractions and temptations, staying close to Allah requires steadfastness, devotion, and selflessness. When we prioritize our faith and focus on acts of kindness and compassion, we find a sense of fulfillment and inner peace that worldly possessions can never provide. The only path that truly brings us closer to Allah is the path of love, goodness, and sincere devotion to Him.